Yeah, we got so one day and walked around, and I walked the booth one day. I guess we have. I'll go ahead and call meeting order now.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nancy and Jim.
Yes.
This is from Merchants and Medical.
Merchants and Medical, $191.18.
This is from Mr. O'Hare.
They're $808.80.
And
808.80.
Got the O'Hara Law Office Trust.
our monthly totals, 100,373. But since they're combined, or converting over, we didn't get a paper yet. So we,
Brought in.
that's what was brought in for the month of May.
For all of the month of May or just Acumed?
No, that's the whole total for a month of May.
Acumet's slowly phasing out. They're down to just collecting maybe $8,000 a month.
Yeah.
At that.
Okay, I'll let you have it.
Morning.
Morning.
Well, just to recap for other stuff afterwards. Right now, we are at operating 4 out of the 6 ambulances, as always. 3+1 transfer truck at ALS level when staffing permits, minimum of 1 ALS staff member at all times, scheduled at Medic 3, Knox base. 68% of April staffing is a minimum of 2 ALS staff vehicles, which was a decrease of 2%. But we had a few incidents happen with personnel at that point in time. ALS ambulances, when they're at staff, 100% minimum staffing of 1 paramedic at Knox. I'm continuing operating as a BLS non-transport due to my monitor being down, broken, and not being returnable. It still runs. We have the monitor that I can jump on the rig, still use when we get there. Transfers. It's an estimated number due to active 911 being down. Basically, I based it off of an average of 4 calls per day. I'm saying 50, but I'm more likely it's more of 60 to 70 transfers. Half the month, the active 911 system went down with the computer glitch at the sheriff's department or at dispatch, not sheriff's department. And Stanley worked on it for a month, trying to get it back up quick as he could. He did a great job. It's up, running, good to go now. We at this time have no full-time openings for anybody. Paramedic, we're at full staff.
When you're full like that, you still take applications.
Oh yeah, I take part-timers all day long. Okay, just to fill in the gaps.
Right.
Daily requests for applications. I mean, I got two new ones sitting on my desk that came in over the weekend. We have 8 full-time paramedics as well as 0 full-time openings. One new part-time paramedic is in the process of retesting for his test. Training, we just went to a weekly training schedule with the new FTO because the other one resigned, field training officer. And this one here is phenomenal. We have like medication Monday, trauma Tuesday. You know, it depends on what shift he's working. We bring all the rigs in, so everybody's getting trained, skills, everything else. Brandon's a great guy and very well versed and been doing it for about 15 years. May training was completed. We did trauma training at Lutheran Air. Also, at the end of May, State Department Homeland Security brought down their most advanced simulator. This is in a 24-foot trailer, and everything is AI. They can change the course of this patient as you're doing it and throw you curveballs and just see how you deal with it. Our medical director was there, and he was coming up with some wild scenarios. So that was a lot of fun to everybody, and everybody's all excited about the new training. So it works great.
Good.
Last accident is 116, no reported injuries. Maintenance, everything's current and up to date. Actually, I think the next one ready to go into service would be 1,000 miles away. But that adds up quick. The other ambulance that's going out for a re-chassis that was supposed to have went out, well, it's sitting down here. He said it's going today down to get sent down to McQueen. There's no rush to get it there. Just get it when he can. Base maintenance, Jason's coming in for a quote to rewire Medic 3, has way too many circuits on one side. The entire wall is just all the way down. There's like 14 circuits on one. Medic 1, Jason's gonna give a quote for the breaker replaced. I have to check with Rick because I think Rick already changed the breaker before Jason goes up there. Medic 5, Grovertown, Rick took a look at it. He didn't find anything on the 2 panels that he pulled out, but the roof is still draining into the base, and they still say there's some smells in there.
Still like to have you get
I've
some estimates from other people.
going to get a structural evaluation done, because there's still some loose siding and everything else. Now you can't pull all the siding at once. I would be afraid to pull all the siding at once. The garage door spring broke. It snapped. It was 20 years old and slammed down and destroyed the bottom of the garage door. DC garage doors came out, repaired the spring. And then I was asking about widening the doors. I'll get it out in a second. They said, yeah, we know a company, we do it. So I told them, give me an estimate for widening all the doors while they're there. The door will have to be replaced eventually, but it's summertime. So it's just kind of a little bent up. It looks bad. All the bids are out currently. Grants, NIPSCO grant, I just applied for 5,000 for training. More grants are coming available daily. We did get some gracious donations for EMS week from many people throughout the county. 5 Star gave us a $50 gift certificate, which for food, total of $630 in cash to win our donation fund. And the t-shirts are currently in the works. All our PPE protective equipment is in good standings. Any questions?
No.
All right. Back to the last meeting, we were talking about the monitors.
Yes.
No. Okay, the monitors will definitely need to be replaced. I got us another few months on it, but the sooner we get them replaced, it's ready to go at the end of the year.
When do they run out?
June of 2026 is the actual final. That's the very last one runs out June of 2026.
And how long will it take you to get them in?
90 days. Right now, I've got 2 broken ones, mine being one of them, another one that I just found out about over the weekend that's doing some weird stuff. I got the technician coming out to look at it. As far as FDA is concerned, there's a page on top. It says monitors have a 5-year life expectancy. Ours are at 7. Stryker says they usually go 2 years above it unless they're continuing to make the product, which they are not. So they will still support the newest version, which we don't have, for the next 5 years. We have options with that, but then we'll be back in the same boat if we went to the newest version of it.
So you say yours is out and you got one going out.
Yeah, I got
Would
one
it
going
be
out.
Good to buy them now and then that'd be a little bit, so we'd have to buy them all again in 5 years,
Yes,
so we can split them up a little.
absolutely. We could do that too. I had the proposals from Stryker. With the proposals, the reason we stay with Stryker is because everything we have talks to each other. The monitors talk to the defibrillator. The defibrillator talks to the computer program that we use as a regular basis. Not always does it talk to them when the internet's out, but it also goes into our monitors, the paper, and everything else all tied together. They're the only ones that make a deal where they cover pretty much everything. Everything we have in that ambulance. The cot is Stryker, the base plate Stryker, the monitor Stryker, the CPR devices Stryker. They do they're a one-stop shop. I did do a comparison on another quote, which was made by Zoll. It was sent out to bid for MRL, Zoll, and Stryker. MRL never got back to me. They only offer monitors. Zoll got back to me. All they offer is monitor and a CPR device.
That was the same.
Yeah, that's prices for this monitor. Now, if we buy them outright, it's $533,000. Now, if we go back to Stryker and we buy them outright, it is $641,000. Their lease for Zoll is $110,276, but you have to sign a 10-year contract. So you're looking at almost a little bit over $1.1 million for a 10-year lease, which is
So didn't you just say they're only good for 5 or 6 years?
yeah. Well, this with what their lease is, within the first 5 years, they'll switch us into the newest
Oh, okay,
monitor.
got you.
So yeah, it's the same as Stryker's program where we can upgrade as soon as they come out with a new one, but we're only locked into a 5-year lease. The very last page of that is in 2022, the monitors cost $44,640. 2025, they're $57,900. 30% increase. And it's just gonna continue to go up, nothing goes down.
Yeah.
Most of our equipment, after the analysis that they gave us, is in pretty good shape, except for the monitors. I mean, our oldest cot is 8 years old, which is, they say 10 years on those, which is not a biggie. I mean, that's actually in reserve, so I'm not worried about that one. We just got 3 brand new ones, which covered the 3 brand new rigs last year. So we got till 2030 for the cots. When we originally talked, I was talking about just going with the incorporated package for the new stuff. Everything up in front. I think I've changed it to going with just the monitors, which 5-year lease where we can exchange for the newest ones, which is $80,000 a year. And then at the end of the 5 years, we can go fair market value and buy them, but 5 to 7 years, we'll be out of them again. So if we continue the leasing, we'll be saving money in the long run. But this is something we have to have. It's not something that I want. The options, I've looked at many different options, and just because they all talk to each other and it's a one-stop shop, I pick up the phone, I call John from Stryker, hey, I need service on this now, because he's here this afternoon. It is probably one of the best options.
So
That
if
we
we got
have.
1 or 2 at a time, would they be any more or not?
They won't do a lease for the 1 or 2 at a time. If we want to buy them outright, we can probably get some kind of deal. I didn't check on that option.
Would you?
Right, yeah, I will. I did, when I submitted my budget, I submitted it for the purchase of the entire package monitors. So when we get to that budget hearing, that I can bring that up to them. Since, okay, this has been rescinded, we can lower this to this. Any questions on that?
No.
And then I'll leave you guys with that. I did talk to Sheriff Rosa on that, and I talked to each one of you on the truck.
Okay, we'll have them talk about that now.
Yeah, that, no,
Okay. The truck that we initially looked at, the 2017, that was for $17,000 with 105,000 miles on it, was sold the next day by accident. What he did offer is a 2021 with 85,000 miles for 20,000 to replace it. He is holding it only until Wednesday. Other than that, he's not gonna make a promise on that one.
So that's 3,000 more and more.
3,000 more than what we originally looked at.
Who's the truck for?
The Sheriff's Department. Sorry, Sheriff, I'm not speaking for
Oh,
you,
that's
but
all
I
right.
know.
For the maintenance department, we talked about at our last meeting, Michael.
Did you say? We have the right pictures here. He says it has.
91, yeah, 90, yeah, sorry, it's 91. I was thinking of the other
Instead of
one.
85.
Yeah, I was thinking of the other one. That was 91. That's why I included the picture.
But it was
Looked at so
4
many.
years newer.
Yeah, it's 4 years, 5 years newer, because the other one was a 2017. And this is a 2021.
I make a motion, we move forward and buy it. It's for 3,000 more than what we had. And it's something we need, it's not something that we can hold off. His frame broke, they can't even change the oil. I mean, can't lift it up.
Right, right.
So we had a motion, is there a second?
That would have to have council approval, right?
Not if we decide not to.
And your
Well,
motion was without,
Yeah.
because they meet tonight.
Right, which it wasn't even on their agenda tonight to bring up last meeting.
Mhm.
And like I say, I don't care if we bring it up to them, but I think we need to move forward and buy it. Out of King Cat.
Out of your budget in Kim Cat?
Yep.
And that would still be 5,000 coming out of the sheriff's budget.
Yeah. So
You said
it'll
this-
be 3,000 more than what we decided on.
You said this one was 20,000
Yeah, that was 20,000
even.
even.
We were at 17,500 on the last one.
Yeah, I got him down to 17 afterwards, but yeah,
Oh, but it's,
I'm gonna try to get him down from that too, but
I don't know, I still feel comfortable with things going through the council. But you guys have been doing this longer.
Like I say, I don't care if they know about it, but I think we need to move forward and buy it so we don't lose this one.
There's another one.
Yeah, I'd say. I'll second it out of Kim Cap,
You seconded it? Chuck?
yeah. All those in favor, I,
I,
that's all I have.
Thanks, Jim. And thanks for telling us about that.
Yeah. Thank you. Tried to get it out as quick as I got it. That's why I sent that message late night.
Mayor Estock and Cheryl. Morning.
Hi, good morning. The mayor's handing out packets for you all. It's just gonna be like what I'm talking about. My first time, so sorry. My name is Cheryl Runkle and I'm with the city of Knox. The city of Knox recently passed an ordinance to recertify our councilmanic districts to be in compliance with IC code 36464 and Senate Enrolled Act 135-2024. The deadline for this, it has to be submitted to Bernadette by June 30th, 2025. So we redrew the districts according to the requirements in state code and according to code. Now, in your packets, I have the big map on the back. That's the new map. There is a copy of the old map in there. And I do have sheets that show you what the current, that's on there, and it's also on another sheet of what the current population per district is and what the original population per district was. I'm sorry, I just wanted to give you some
Copy,
reference.
so I printed you a copy.
Oh,
We
that's
have
a
those
copy.
two maps.
Oh, is that okay?
Extra. I will, when I'm done, I can give you mine, but I have to read mine, if that's okay. Here,
You can
hang
look
on.
at my map, Bernadette, if you want to look at one now.
So this is. No, no.
I thought I might have.
Okay.
It's the same.
Same as what you got, then, sorry.
I'm extra, I
You take
apologize.
it from down there.
So we don't have the old.
Yeah, the old one is in there. It's small and not as colorful. Sorry,
Here we go.
find it?
Yeah.
There. So according to code, the districts must be composed of contiguous territory, which means the borders have to touch, reasonably compact. They do not cross boundary lines except for as provided in subsection C or D, and subsection D says that it may cross precinct lines if the district would not otherwise contain, as nearly as possible, equal population. And then number 4 is that they contain, as nearly as possible, equal population. Our map meets all of those requirements, but in doing so, it created split districts. We are here to respectfully request that the commissioners reestablish precinct boundaries for centers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and approve the city of Knox map. The 2020 census for the city of Knox was 3,662 people. And then you'll see, like, the original district population for center 1 was 1,234 people. It is now 911. The original population for center 2 was 775. The new district population is 917. The original center 3 was 1117, and the new is 912. The original for center 4 was 530, and the new is 922. According to the ordinance and the state enrolled act, the maximum population deviation has to be within under 10%. Our population deviation now is 1.2%. I have also verified that the changes do not affect our council person, like I didn't cut 1 and put them in 4. They're all still where they're supposed to be. Do you have any questions? I've included here a copy of our ordinance. What I just read to you, copy of the ordinance. There's a page that shows you center 1, original and new. The original map and a copy of the Indiana code. And a page reflecting the census and then the big map. Do you have any questions? And I will have to, I have to get this to Bernadette so that she can do her thing. And then she said that she will make the required notifications for people who got moved from one district to the next.
I don't have no question, but I'm gonna lean on Bernadette for.
So you're requesting the county to change precincts or move precincts? Boundaries?
Yes.
Yes.
May I see a map of the old one? Yes, I apologize, I don't know city streets, I don't live in the city. I know how to get around, but I don't know city streets.
This one is that fellow that you told me, the clerk treasurer from, or the county clerk from Knox County. Yeah, he sent me that. He was very
That's the
helpful.
old one, yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, and I will,
What street is that she was asking me?
which one? Hold on, let me put my glasses on. Let me see.
This is the old boundary,
No, I don't know why that is there, that line. It
okay,
may be the old boundary, but I don't know why that's there.
so this isn't the boundary of the new,
No, the green, the boundary is here.
okay,
Yeah.
what
I
is,
have, it,
which I don't know city street.
I will put down for you. When I bring this to you, I will break it all down for you.
Okay,
The streets that I started to do it at the office. I'm sorry.
That street name on it, man.
No, this is very small homes.
Oh, I didn't bring it down. I had one where I blew each district up so that I could see them better. But I had started writing that this, you know, like where this goes to here and around, broken down by street and where you turn. But I know that these are not
So
very,
you annexed more in as well?
no, it was already there. It just wouldn't show up on, you could not click it to cover it in the. According to the things that when the city of Knox shows up, this is in the city of Knox. You just couldn't click the button to include it for whatever reason.
But it was already included?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Well, it evens it out nicely.
We need to make sure that our records are
Okay.
driving them.
Yeah, and I have where I put each one bigger, so it shows the outline of the streets. And plus they can also go through and I can say, you know, like Roosevelt Road to John Street to, you know, that's what I started to do
Okay.
on one of them. I think I started to do that on
That
this.
might, if we're redistricting,
Cause you
That's
told
what
me
I'm
that
gonna
you
have to
needed
be-
to have a map, a detailed map, and
Yes.
so
yes,
that's what I'm working on.
If I have to redistrict, then
Mhm.
yes, is what I'm gonna have to do. They have the districts so evenly numbered. I'll do the work to redistrict the city districts. I can't argue with their numbers. You guys did a fantastic job
Thank you.
getting them equalized, so I have no complaints over that.
Yeah.
I will do the work, whatever it takes to redistrict the precincts.
Thank you. Thanks. Make the motion, more or whatever, maybe seven, you need a motion on it.
Yeah. Do you have something that we need signed or anything by us, or?
I think that your minutes, would suffice. Yeah, I don't think we need anything. And just so Bernadette, you know, like Bernadette knows that you have approved that, your minutes should be sufficient.
On second, Tony's motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay.
When, we have,
Yeah, looks good. Thank you.
Anna Beam up.
Okay, I'm not asking for money or anything. I'm asking for answers. My name's Anna Beam. I'm the wife widow of Homer Beam, who passed away the morning of January the 28th. That morning, I tried calling. Why I'm doing CPR on my husband. I tried calling 911 over 5 times. Got a busy signal every time. I worked at the hospital for over 30 years. I know the front desk phone number. I know a lot of the phone numbers by heart. So I called the front desk. And why I'm calling the front desk, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to get my husband out to our car and to the emergency room and do CPR at the same time? And the front desk answered, they transferred me over to dispatch. And I don't understand why I got the busy signal. I shouldn't have, because my daughter worked here in Stark County as a dispatcher. She said, Mom, when it does busy, it's supposed to flip over to another county. And she says, normally Marshall County. I don't know if I would have gotten him help on the first ring if he would have lived. I don't know. On April the 17th, I Facebook messaged Stacy Noonan to ask her who is in charge, because I talked to somebody and asked them how should I go about it? And they said, go find the 911 administrator. So I asked Stacy who the 911 administrator was, who was in charge. I did not get a message back from her until last Friday, which I should have gotten it sooner. She said Brightspeed is in charge of the phone service, not of the computer system. Probably a week or two after I messaged Stacy on Facebook, I called the sheriff's department And I've got the answering machine and stuff, and I left my name and number and asked them to give me a call back, and it said it was in regards to the 911 system. I never got a call back from the sheriff's department. I want to know why I got the busy signal. I want to know why I had to go through the hospital to get help. We teach our kids to, if you have a problem, if there's an emergency, fire, somebody breaking in the house, you dial 911 for help. When I was a kid, we were told to dial 0, get the operator. Why did it happen? It shouldn't have happened. I pay an extra $1 on my telephone bill for 911. I pay an extra $1 on my cell phone for 911. My husband does, everybody in this county does. Our taxpayer money pays for upgrades for computer systems and stuff. Why did I get a busy signal? It is uncalled for. I want answers for me, my children, and for the county, because who else has been trying to call 911 and they can't get through?
What was the date on them?
Huh?
What was the date?
January 28th morning, approximately between 8 and 8:30.
We can look into it, but, like your daughter said, normally when the 911's busy, it goes straight to another county.
Why didn't it go?
Well, I don't know. That's what I said. I'm gonna have to check into it for you.
Okay,
Uh,
I want answers. I need answers. I have guilt because what if I could have gotten through? Would my husband still be sitting here next to me?
I get it.
He was only 63 years old. He had just retired last November. We had all these plans, and it has all gone to hell in a handbasket, forgive me, God. It has all gone by the wayside. I am left here by myself and with friends and family, but I shouldn't have to be. I should have him with me. And if there's a possibility I could have gotten through the first time, and if there was a possibility he should have survived, I need answers. He needs answers.
I can try to get you one, ma'am, but like I say, right now I can't give you an answer. I know Homer. I knew Homer.
Yeah.
We went to school together.
Yeah, and Randy worked with Sandy.
Absolutely.
And I don't want some other woman or some child trying to call 911 because their mom, they can't get a response from their mom because they think she's sleeping and she's not.
Right.
That I don't want it to happen to somebody else. Nobody else should have to have the guilt that I am feeling right now.
Absolutely. And I'll look into it. Like I said, I can't give you an answer now. I have to talk to the sheriff. I have to talk to Stacy. And not sticking up for Stacy. I believe she was on vacation that time, but you still should have got the second one in charge.
Well, but I should have gotten, I don't know. I needed help and I did not get it. And when they came, they were fantastic, but I did not get it when I needed it.
Right.
And I shouldn't have had to do it.
Dave, guys, I'm a member of the County Communications Committee. Stacy sits on that, fire, sheriff's department, EMS. One thing that I don't think I heard is, were you dialing with a landline
I
or?
was dialing on my landline. My daughter told me, she said, Mom, if you would have used a cell phone, you probably would have gotten Marshall County, because we live a half a mile from Marshall County line. And our cell phones normally ping off of Donaldson.
Well, I don't know. We've been talking about cell phone coverage in the county too. That both companies are they're terrible now in Stark. So I thought I wanted to confirm that. So
Track phone. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It should have worked. It should have flipped so that I did not have to do this. And I've called 911 before. And I've automatically gotten through. And I know there was no big humongous accident, because when we finally got to the ER and stuff, there was not like 50 ambulances.
Even if there was an ambulance, you shouldn't have.
Randy said I shouldn't have gotten it. I should have gotten flipped over and
Yeah.
stuff.
it's a voice over IP system. So that's why she said that she'd have to look into Brightspeed, because it could have been that it just stopped before it even rang through because there was an issue with the actual
But would have
internet.
it done it over 5 times? And I can't get from Brightspeed how many times I called. It was over 5 times.
Well,
And why I'm doing the CPR and stuff, I told God that he couldn't have him yet. And it didn't work.
like Don
And
said,
when I needed help, I could not get it. A friend of ours, he somehow, he came all the way from Michigan City. He was at a doctor's appointment and he got there right after the ambulance and stuff did. If he could have gotten there sooner, I might have had some more help. But I'm trying to do CPR mouth to mouth and trying to get through to 911 for help, and I could not get him. And I was married to the man for over 44 years, and I've been in love with him for over 49 years. It is uncalled for.
we're definitely all very sorry to hear about
Yes.
this loss, and we'll look, there's different ways we can look into it.
Yeah,
Since you had somebody working there too, just for knowledge, did you also use the 772 number or only 911?
Only 911. I don't know the dispatcher,
No, it
the
does.
sheriff's
just wanna make
department,
sure-
for that.
and just so we
But
can-
I knew the hospital's phone number because I worked there for so many years. I worked there for over 30 years. So I know various departments in there, and I knew the front desk number, and that's the only thing I could think of.
The hospital called 911.
The hospital called over to the dispatch or something. I don't know how they got me over there, but they did get me over there.
Hospital sits on our communications committee too, so I can help, get involved.
Yeah, Don will definitely, I mean, he'll check into it and see what we can come up with.
Because I will be at the council meeting tonight. Howard Bailey is the one that told me that I needed to, he was the funeral director, Howard Bailey's family. That's where my family goes, is at Brayman and Son. And Howard and Chris is the one I asked on how should I go about, where do I go to get my answers?
And I'll try to get you some.
Okay, you're lucky my daughter's not here because she's not happy.
I know Randy, I know her all.
Yeah.
I don't blame her for not.
She's in Charlotte. She lives in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. And I was hoping that she'd be here, but she's not because she'd be better at this.
They were in a busy season, but.
Because you wouldn't want it to happen to one of your grandkids or to your wife.
And I'm not downing you for it at all, and I'll try to get you the best answer I can.
I hope so, because I want answers.
And you can call me, I got a phone number, you can call me, or you can come to our next meeting, however you want to
Okay.
do.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sherry,
One,
I just have a couple of. I would like some input as to which direction I need to go. The first thing that I'm gonna talk about is on by Scoops and Smiles, 650 South. There's that easement between the house and the beach. Our fire department is wondering if they would be able to put a pier out there to have their fire department rescue pontoon boat anchored there. We have been having an issue as far as where we're going to put it each summer. We're not gonna go with Portside because they wanted to charge us $2,000 for a slip. Bass Lake Beach is allowing us to put it there for free right now, but it is hard to get in and out depending on where on the piers they put our boat in. So they had asked me if I could come in front of you and ask if that would be feasible to do that, since the county owns the easement.
I think it would be good, but maybe put it towards the beach side just a little bit, you know what I mean, so people don't think it's a public pier now.
Right,
And put plenty of signs on it.
yeah,
Is what I would do,
Yeah.
try to keep people off, you're gonna have people get on it. But I think it's a good thing, to be out there in the lake for you. But like right at the line, maybe split the dip, go towards the beach a little bit.
okay, and then the
That way we're
easement,
not blocking the easement, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
do I need a motion or anything?
I'll make that motion.
And a motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye.
The next thing I wanna talk about is going from, say, like the marina around the other side on County Road 210 up to that where my dividing line is between California Township and North Bend. There have been speeders. It is very fast. People go very fast around the lake. I'm sure on State Road 10 too, but I'm more worried about County Road 210. A couple of residents have approached me and are wondering if we could put speed bumps periodically around the lake there, say from like Hillbilly Beach up to 625. I've kind of looked into it. They kind of recommended a raised, like they have by the Knox Middle School, a raised speed bump like that. But they said with plowing in the winter, that might be hard. However, there are portable speed bumps that you can put from spring to fall and take those out. So that in the winter time, the plows can still get around. I'm just wondering what your input would be as far as what direction would you want me to go? Because it's a county road.
Last year, we had a couple people gonna buy some
Yeah.
and we put them up. I'm personally gonna lean towards Rachel, she's in charge of the road.
She suggested that I come in front of you. I already talked
I'm
with her.
okay with it. I mean, I think it's speed bumps, I've always said that, but
Yeah.
portable, like you said.
Yeah.
That way we can get them out of there.
Yeah,
But there again, I'm gonna lean on her to decide where we put them and.
Do we have an ordinance for speed on 210? Better.
I believe it's 20 miles an hour.
Do we have an ordinance in place?
That I don't know.
That I
We have to
couldn't
have
tell
an
her,
ordinance.
Dave.
Control speed
don't know.
on-
So who would have that?
Well, the commissioners would agree with our attorney, but you can't control speed in any way unless you put an ordinance.
Well, when they do
So the-
60, but when they do 60,
I'm not arguing.
and it's
I'm not arguing.
good
We get
It's
it.
talking about law.
it's not like summertime people that come from Illinois and have their vacation house here. This is
Trust me,
permanent.
I
Like,
drive like an old man and they're flipping me off.
So
I can't help that.
I think we're gonna look into it. Mike's in charge of the county drive. He's gonna talk to Rachel. He'll get us some input, kind of go from there.
Okay,
Not that we're throwing it out. I
No.
think it's a good idea. Like I say, I thought we decided a year or two.
because I did get a couple of companies I had talked to that were recommended to me by this Larson Danielson, who did the raised speed bump by the middle school. But when I talked to them, they're more of like a construction company.
Yeah.
And they recommended two companies, Rice Riley and also this Milestone. And one is from LaPorte and one's from Velpo. I haven't contacted them because I wanted to come in front of you first
We
and
work
see.
with both those companies.
All right, and really, if it's just portable, our county should be able to put it yourself and not pay nobody. But we gotta do like they do, we gotta check, make sure we got an ordinance out there and the whole works.
And
Okay.
the goal here is to slow people down. So-
Correct. I mean, you don't want an accident. I mean, the kids are all around. They'll be coming now more so with summertime and people down here, and you know that.
Cause I thought a couple people out there around there was gonna pay for it for us.
I remember that.
And then we, the county, they was gonna be took to the county every year, and then the county would decide when to start putting them on.
You think you'd have an answer before the next commissioners meeting? Do you want me to come back?
I thought,
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
I talk to Rachel daily, so we can start some dialogue about this.
Okay. My next thing, we are looking into repaving our parking lot.
Good.
I have gotten so far one bid at the fire station, which is on 35. It was to the tune of about 282,000. My question to you is, would there be money available from the county to help with my funds to repave that? Since we have medevac helicopters land there whenever there are accidents in the area. And that is county.
right now, I would think not, and I hate to say that, but just, you know, we do yours, and do all the others. You might, yeah, this, especially this year.
Yeah.
Who did you get an estimate? You mind telling me?
Mark Milo was working with me on something else and he recommended a company that he deals with. I think they're either out of DeMott or Francisville.
I know we got a local guy that does it now, Scott Lehigh. You might call him and get an estimate. And like I said, I hate telling you no, but I know this year.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, and I don't even know if I'm gonna get that done this year, but I know that when the helicopters land, I mean, it's. The asphalt, when it was done originally, wasn't done to the correct depth.
Right.
There's a thin layer of asphalt, so when they land and there's it's bouncy.
Right.
So just that's all I want. Do you know if for the budget for next year, are you gonna think of a public safety fund?
That'd be kind of up to the council, I believe.
No.
I mean, we could recommend it.
So far, no.
Well, I mean, to do a public, what you're thinking about is there is a
You know,
public
I've
safety lit
done
tax.
before you.
And so we haven't, here's the thing. And I'm gonna bring this up later at the very end when you come around with me, because we've got no more money coming in. Like, I don't know, like, cause other people are asking about getting money from the county, cause for a while there, we were giving a lot of money to different things. There is no money. In fact, there's gonna be less money, but the state is in the process of trying to force us to go to what's a lit tax, a local income tax. It used to be called a LOID, which is a local option income tax. We never qualified for those before because we were too small. We had to qualify to get into most of those. Well, now they've opened it up and there's basically 4 categories. One of them is public safety. One of them, even believe it or not, actually has money for courts. The only thing is though, is that means we have to raise taxes. And I will say that that my colleagues, I won't speak for them, but I've heard them say before that they don't want to raise taxes. But that would be a tax raise. Now, are we going to be out of money starting next year? Yes. So, you know, the possibility of doing that, you know, just to save the county is probably going to be a reality in some way at some point, at least in the next couple of years, because our income is going to be reduced. The school's income is going to be reduced. The township incomes are going to be reduced. And so I would suggest that all the townships look at the possibility of tightening up or looking for other funding sources, because the county is not going to have money moving forward to fund any county, you know, activities, you know, at least for a couple of years. You know, and I don't know how the public is gonna embrace doing a public safety lit. We have a problem, you know, it's gonna start coming up with trying to come up with the money again for the sheriff's pension money. You know, the officers are, you know, still having trouble competing with other counties. And so, you know, what the answer from the state on that is cut. If you're not gonna raise taxes, cut. I mean, there's only 2 choices, like there isn't hidden money under rocks or, you know, well, there is actually money. I'm gonna bring that up at the end. There is one thing where there is possibility to have some money to come into the county aside from raising taxes, but unfortunately, well, I don't know. Maybe we need to have a meeting with the public commissioners. That might be a good thing to think about. What does the public think about income? It's an income tax. I want to be really clear about that. The state is trying to, they're gonna lower some property taxes, but with the, you know, with the circuit breaker, the county just suffers again is what happens, because the circuit breaker ceiling, you know, just gets changed and then we have to find more money to try to cover that. But maybe we should go to the public and say, hey, are you okay with, you know, a few $100s more a piece a year to cover some kind of a lit tax, whether it be public safety or more expanded than that. But maybe we should start thinking about, you know, talking to the public about that. And then there might be some possibilities to, you know.
Okay, so now my last item that I have is I understand that you have been receiving, or the county has been receiving monies from Mammoth Solar. And I'm just wondering when the roads in California Township that they have used to put up their fields, will I be getting some of that money, or will that county be done?
The county.
And when?
The county garage gets it. We've actually been in meetings and they should be starting on them roads.
Okay,
Sometime this year. We gotta get our other stuff done and as she sent an email out.
and from what I understand, it's only the roads that they traveled on, correct?
I believe so.
There's quite a few
Unless-
though. It's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
California
there's quite a
Township,
few.
it was a lot.
I think it was 12.5 miles or something.
Yeah.
somewhere.
And there might be some that been there for us to do, not even counting the solar.
Okay,
There's
That's
if you go to our website, I think it's still up there. There's a map that shows all of the roads that are getting paved in
Each
our
township?
Yeah.
And if
Okay.
there's something, one that you're thinking about or whatever, feel free to give Rachel a call and leave her a message or not. She
okay,
can tell you.
That map does not include the solar. That this was the pre-decided roads that were being. picked
right,
by
but
the
some of
county.
that money that Mammoth has been paying you will come from there, right?
Well,
To pay for the paving?
It's set up a little bit different than that. It's not the money they're giving us. I think you're referring to the monthly or.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that money. It was a grant money that was
Mhm.
given to us and then they kicked in some extra money. And our goal is to have a good chunk of it done by the end of this year and some of it will roll into next
And
year.
that's strictly for the road.
Mm.
The other money, I, like Mike said, I think you're thinking about, you're gonna have to go to council and ask them.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Then we've got, vendor claims in the amount of $1,152,027.87.
Well, I actually had two quick questions on this. There was one on there from Hall Lift Trucks. And I couldn't figure out what that was for, but it was almost $24,000.
Do you know which account it came out of?
I don't think I printed that off on the line.
Did you ask Rebecca about it?
I did, and I hadn't heard back. But yeah, that was pretty sizable, and I was trying to think of what on earth we were hiring Hall Lift Trucks for.
Yeah. That's not what we got that low yet. But we'll send that over.
No, that was Ronson.
Is, Rebecca upstairs? Would you call her, please?
Next, it's under local road and street, or, or
Oh, you got it there.
other road equipment, I guess.
Guess we'll call
Let me-
Rachel.
4201.
Call Rachel
That's what I
about
was gonna
that.
say, we'll call Rachel now. Charlie found it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
it's actually, Hull Bobcat of Michiana, I think. And I think, I bet you it's that air compressor.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, that's what.
And so it's not lift, yeah, right here's the claim, she sent it to me. It's for the air
Yeah.
compressor, that makes sense.
yeah.
And there weren't. The other one I had in question was, for, tram services, but she sent that to me as well. Cause there was actually.
That for the tax abatement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was two things on there and the
Mhm.
numbers were almost looked like they had swapped them and put them in separately.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So I was concerned about that, but it makes sense with what she had said.
there should only be, because we had oral argument on the actual abatement, there should only be one bill and it'll be about half the size of the one you guys got this month. So what I've been working on is the appellate briefs, research, so, you'll remember just to bring it up, I asked for an increased bond to cover that
Yeah.
amount, because it's
Yeah.
about right where I thought it would be, but judge didn't think it should include attorney fees. So I tried to spread out the billing, so you guys didn't get with a huge one all in 1 month, but like I said, there should only be one more, and it was from June. So absent an appeal by either side, once the judge comes in, ruling probably by July, there should only be one more bill, it'll be about half the size of the one you guys had this month.
We have a motion by Don,
Second.
and a second by Mike, all those in favor? Aye.
I think that was a misprint, I'll bet you, with the lift truck thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was thinking, other ones didn't know we had a whole bunch of forklifts out here that need service.
Yeah. Yeah, one of Rick's better not need it. I bet.
You put that up.
And we have payroll claims in the amount of $339,785.66.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the commissioners' meeting minutes from 6/2/25?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Then we have covered bridge certification. You know, we don't have no covered
I was
bridges.
gonna say we wouldn't have them.
No, we still gotta do
State
it.
requires us, because I texted him or emailed him back and I said, we don't have any, you still have to fill out the report.
We just gotta sign it and you got the IC code and all that on there.
Need a motion.
Yeah, motion,
Fine.
second,
Second,
all those in favor, aye.
your motion was to sign.
Good enough.
Pretty good, do it. Don't have no bridge.
Appointments,
So I kind of did a little bit of research on this.
no,
Richard didn't have a whole lot of information. Hayden has to withdraw. He took on a new role and he doesn't feel he has time. I spoke with him this morning. I tried to talk to that Lydia, who seemed like would be a good candidate. I don't know if you read through some of the stuff. She hadn't called me back. I don't know if she's still interested or not. And she's also, I don't know if Bass Lake is an incorporated area. So, okay, because she's kind of in that Bass Lake circle there.
yeah, that's on corporate.
Okay, so she would qualify then. This Kenny Eagle lives outside Bass Lake, so he's not in an incorporated area, and he's applied for the BZA. And I did not reach out to Nina yet. That's everybody up to date. I did talk to a gal a couple of months ago that said she was interested. I don't know if our wires were crossed, but I don't know. She apparently never applied because I think this was everybody.
I don't.
I don't even.
You say you need one for the BJ?
I think
Some apply.
I think we need 2 for the planning commission.
I know the plan.
Yeah. I think that Lydia would be a good option if she's still interested. Could we make a motion to approve Lydia for the planning commission based on her interest?
Absolutely.
And maybe Michaeline could reach out to her, or maybe she'll reach out to me sometime in the next couple of days.
Go ahead and motion in a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Is that for the BZA or planning?
Richard wanted to Jim stepping up.
No, it was this Caden was stepping out. This is all I had from Richard. There was no address or anything. I didn't know where he lived.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it lives next.
I can reach out to him.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about, the only other one is Kenny for the BZA.
Did you want Lydia for planning and BZA?
I think she'd be a good candidate for planning.
Okay.
I'm really separating that way.
Mhm.
That county, I'll get the okay, can,
Yep. Is that a motion?
yep,
Based on if he's still interested.
yes.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
I think with the applicants, that's really all we can do.
Yeah.
Alright. You wanna reach out to them?
Yeah.
So we're black and one for planning,
2, I think.
but you wanna call that late?
I think we're still short too.
Really?
Yeah. We're at 6 right now. We need 3 more.
And when we put that on the radio again.
I didn't hear what he said.
And if we still need someone for the planning commission, a couple of them, and we need 2 for the city planning commission.
Yeah, I just sent him something the other day too, to redo it, to re-advertise.
Is it BZA all that?
Be good.
Still waiting for that.
Actually, I think there's one more for the BZA as well.
Yeah.
So. Well, you guys have struggled getting all of this, but my name's Dean Knight, I was a local contractor. Can't get permits right now. I've got new homes to build. And I just don't, I've got people with bank loans, time frames. You're filling the boards. And I just don't know how long this is gonna take.
Well, I think there's gonna be more conversation here in just a few minutes about it.
Do you got anything else for us, Dylan?
I don't.
Mike?
I got a whole list of things, so I'll hit them as quick as I can. Okay, so I think early last week I reached out to HR because there was nobody for the PC applications to go to. So she took over that role up in the HR department and has been sending them to us. With your guys' permission, at the next planning commission meeting, I'd like to present the applications.
Yeah, yeah,
To the board. But I wanted to make sure you guys were okay with that.
right.
Yeah.
We're all on the same page. Now, I don't know if you guys want me to cross out names because I wonder if a couple of these people are employed locally. And I don't know if we want it to get back to their employer. That was one of my concerns.
Right. Really go on there to fill out application, they must not care.
Well, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, I get it, yep.
But I mean, we gotta start the process.
Right, yeah, we need to. Just like Dean said, then we got someone in that spot.
Right. There's at least 2 applicants that I think are pretty strong.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys are good with that, then I'll present them at the next meeting. Are you guys
You
good?
can make that a motion.
Yeah.
We can. Want to do a motion?
No, I'll second.
Okay.
Oh, who moved?
Mike.
Don seconds. All's in favor?
Aye. And does the PC hire or is it a joint with the commissioners? How's historically that happened?
I thought it was joint one, Justin, or no?
Well, so, I mean, your guys' planning commission hires predated me, so I would say it probably doesn't help you out, and use whatever procedure you used in the past, and I'm not sure how you
I
guys have
thought
done
the
that.
commissioners looked at them
Yeah.
and recommended to the planning commission, but I'm not gonna swear to it. I thought that's how it always.
In other units, I've seen it kind of work the opposite way, where the planning, again, this is other units, planning commission say, hey, we want to hire this person, can we get your approval to hire them? But if that's not the way you guys have done
Right.
it, then,
And that'd be the same difference.
Mhm.
I mean, if we went that way and then come to us, whatever, yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll talk to the plan commission on Thursday. We have a meeting
okay.
and see how we want to move forward with that.
Okay.
So before, about 2 months ago, we all approved getting tablets for the plan commission.
Mhm.
So all of the information is on those tablets. So to move forward with some of those things, we need to access those tablets. And I don't really think it's a big deal for one of the plan commission members to access them, get the information so we can start moving forward with some of those things that were on agendas the last meeting. But again, I wanted to present it to you folks if anybody had an issue with that, but to really get all the information from the previous meeting, we need to access them. There was one for each board member.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
They were kept in the planning commission office.
Right.
Well, if there's one for each board member, you should have access from some others, shouldn't you?
Well, they weren't set up to be take home. So at the end of every meeting, we turned them all in. So
Right,
whatever information was discussed in those meetings is on the tablets.
I agree. I would be okay, I mean, like, the ones that got tablets, let them, whatever, but.
Well, all of us had tablets, but they're all in the plan commission office.
Yeah, cause you would just be accessing them to the people like back to you and back to,
Correct.
yeah, I would be, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be fine with that.
So Don, did you make that motion?
Sure. Motion. Second, is there a second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
You can have our council tablets if we need them too. I don't think we use them at all.
Mm.
Honestly, like the county bought them. There's,
Well, the tablets are up there.
we never know.
But yeah, we've got all of them, but I wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page to access them before we started
Right.
just diving into things. Okay, so this has kind of come up since the Mint Fest. I think it kind of started off as a comical discussion, but I think it's turned into more of a serious conversation. The highway department has never been in a parade. And they have some new trucks.
Right.
And they have some employees out there that are proud to be employees. Would anybody have an issue with, if it's all volunteer, if they drove one of the county trucks through a parade?
I don't have an issue.
I don't think that.
Maybe you can get someone to drive one of the new tractors. That looks pretty nice.
Well, it's not uncommon for cities and
Right.
counties to want to show the new equipment that,
Right.
people have paid taxes to get.
Yeah.
So you guys are okay with that?
Mhm.
I will pass it along to Rachel
Yeah.
if she wants to coordinate it.
That's what I'm
Obviously, we're not
saying, really,
pulling anybody.
yeah, right.
A motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye.
Right. Okay, so it's been brought to my attention by probably a dozen people that there is some discoloration around the pug pile out there. I think we've kind of talked about it a little bit. And there, to my knowledge, there was no spills of any of the stuff to make the pug. What happened was they started making the pug and rain came within a day or two of them making it, washed down the piles and created a sheen across some water out there. They had containments built up, but it seeped around the containments. They built secondary containments. Rachel has reached out to a company to see if there was anything that could be done to clean up some of the staining that's around the area. And they're also offering to help her design better berms that would help contain some of that rainwater. And I've also asked her before this Wednesday, when there's some scheduled storms coming through, to do the best that she can to plan for additional rain to contain that. There's nothing, as far as she knows, there was nothing they did wrong. There was nothing the county could have done. And when I say they, I mean the company that we hired to make the pug. It's seeping from the pile when we get rainwater.
Just like it always has.
So,
Part of it.
it may be something that if they've got some ideas on how we can better contain it in the future, it may cost some money. And that's something we may need to go down that route, but this particular situation was not like 500 gallons of the material was not dumped out on the ground. It's just seeping from the pile. And it's going to do that again this Wednesday when we get more rain. Now they are using it up, but it's not going to disappear before Wednesday. But I wanted to make that.
You might want to add though that oil is not toxic, just so the public doesn't freak out when they watch this on YouTube. It's a non-toxic oil.
Correct. I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts, but I wanted to make sure I shared it with the public and keep you guys up to date as to where we're at with it. The company was out last Thursday to look at the options for a possible cleanup and improving our berm system.
And Tori's been aware of it, right?
Yeah, actually Tori was involved right from the get-go. I told Rachel to get Tori and she's been documenting it, taking pictures. So they have it documented all the way back to when it started.
I have a question. Since this is an ongoing issue, it seems this has been going on since like 2023 or whatever it was. when are we going to come up with a permanent fix for this?
That's what Mike had just
Well, I
meant.
know, but we need to get serious about it, like, send somebody to get quotes then, or.
Right, but it's been before 19, whatever you, or
Yeah,
whatever,
it's
it's
been a
been
long
from
time.
1976 when you moved it out there.
Okay, then, yeah.
But
Yeah.
this company that came out last Thursday is gonna provide quotes to
They are.
improve.
To make new
Yes.
berms and stuff.
Okay.
Build.
So it'll be a containment system.
Right.
That'd be nice if it was like
Okay.
concrete, you know.
Right.
raised.
I think we've talked about that, even
Yeah.
Dave talked about it before.
And I talked to Rachel about, could we put like one of those hoop or loop buildings
Oh, yeah.
kind of to shed some of the water? And she was gonna check to see if that would cause conflict with the pug process. Because it needs to be exposed to the
Right.
sun. So anyway, we're kind of working through some of that.
We usually have crushed concrete. You can retreat crushed concrete, as Don knows that. I don't know how much you guys work with concrete, but you can hit it with calcium chloride again. And it makes it pretty hard, it makes
Yeah.
it pretty impenetrable.
Right.
We have a lot of it. I
Yeah.
mean, we could probably pretty economically, do some of our own work, because I think they use pit run or sand or something like that for the berms that are there now, but obviously that's not gonna hold anything back.
All right.
Because
I'm not
the surface is
sure how
hard.
much concrete they got left out there, but yeah, that's a good idea.
Well,
And they usually get that.
well, we stopped taking free, because
Right.
we usually get it free. We stopped taking
Yes.
it because we had too much, and it gets hard just from the rain too,
Mhm.
but.
Right.
Maybe we could put the word out too, that we'll take some more free if we're almost out then.
Well,
They can,
Right.
cost wise.
Oh, another quick question. So even though they say it's safe and non-toxic, of course, when it's mixed properly and applied properly, are you guys still gonna contact at least IDEM to give them a heads up of what's going on out there? Cause it looks probably way worse than maybe it is. Cause from the rain, when I went to pick the truck up last Friday, it looked still bad.
I think Tori's.
Tori's already put an item.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this company that we brought down to do the cleanup, potentially, they're gonna hopefully help get us going in the right direction as to what does need done and what doesn't need done. Okay, last thing out at the highway, the John Deere mowing tractor. Transmission apparently is giving them some fits. The tractor will still shift, but really can't go back into operation. The rough quotes they've gotten from the John Deere dealership is $20,000 to $25,000. They currently have some labor into it, about $2,000 worth. They've taken the side mower off. Really what they want to do is split the entire tractor, and try to determine what's wrong with it. They've apparently done everything from the outside of it they feel they can do. The tractor, like I said, will still shift, but it's not able to go back out into service.
What do they want to do to the tractor?
Split it, like open it.
Oh,
Take it apart pretty much.
The only thing Mike would do, they got time. There's still trucks out there, they took motors out. Back in.
I'll say that again.
I say, they're gonna have time, once they split it, they're gonna be next year for you. You know what I'm saying?
He did not give me a time frame
Right.
on it.
That'd be my only concern.
The
Is it better to find someone to do it, or do they have time?
Well, this would be from the John Deere dealer.
Oh, John did, okay,
Yeah.
I thought you meant all that.
No,
Okay.
this would, this needs to
Okay.
go to the John Deere dealership.
And what, sure, it can't cost that much to split it, just to look in.
Well, once they split it, we're committed to it.
Well, what year is that tractor?
Well, the John Deere dealership told me it was a 2013. So that's pretty large expense. I asked Rachel what she thought of the tractor beyond the transmission. And she thinks it's to the point where it's probably gonna nickel and dime. Even after this repair,
Does it have a cab on?
it does. I
That's the one brush mower tractor, right?
think it's just got the side.
Or the 3-point side, or is or bolted to the side.
Yeah, it's bolted to the side.
Yeah. Yeah, and then.
So. One of the things that Rachel and I talked about, we paid 60,000 for the Kubota. I'm not sure that it's worth putting 25,000 into John Deere. It's 12 years old.
Does she got money in her budget
She was gonna look at that. She just was nervous about cutting it too thin. She did take the delivery of the second Kubota.
I was gonna say, have we got our second one yet?
We got it last Friday. But the cost would be within 1,000 or two. She did order, when she got a quote this time, she did have them equipped with some front plates, a couple extra things, so it's a couple $1,000s more than what we paid the first time.
And they won't take, trade.
They might, certain gas,
Fast.
but we can also put just one item in that W's auction.
Right.
And we did
right.
pretty good on that.
Yeah.
And honestly, to somebody that knows John Deere's, this may not be a big issue if they can
Right.
repair it themselves.
Yeah, 'cause that seems pretty steep to fix something. It might get worse too, so there are more costs
Yeah.
once they get in there.
His initial quote to Rachel was about 25,000. When I spoke to him personally, he was thinking it was gonna be around 20.
Yeah,
Historically, from my experience, when you get into stuff like this, you could tack on another 10 or 15%.
is that a power shift or it's like a shuttle or a clutch?
It's a shuttle shift, and he was gonna check to see if it had the power reverser. He wasn't sure when I talked to him.
We didn't look at it, but they were more committed and.
Yeah, really, you're getting into time. They have to take the cab off,
Right.
and then the whole rear axle is gonna come out of it. But I know that it's sitting in their shop right now, and they probably don't wanna wait 2 weeks for a decision.
Right. Why don't she again get a quote from them with the trade? I know they'll trade.
At John Deere,
And then put one of the new mowers, them new mowers, they also too.
and they're having good luck.
Yeah,
That kind of mower. In my opinion. I know they'll give us, they open trading. Hey, last time they got the right money on tractor.
I know for the other two tractors, the cost of them was pretty much covered with the auction.
Right.
Stuff.
Right.
So that wasn't any additional money. If we did buy a new one, this wouldn't have, I mean, other than whatever we sold this one for.
I was gonna say, we could say that money goes back into the tractor.
And with it currently still shifting. You know, that's appealing because like I said, somebody that knows John Deere might buy it. Know what they need to do. Dave, any thoughts?
That's a lot of money to put into it. But you know, this seems like a lot to split it, you know.
No.
I guess what I would ask, could our guys do it, at least take the cab off, maybe? Well,
But I think once you take the cab off, you really can't move it.
I'm not talking.
You know,
Take a picture.
You know, it becomes wherever they disassemble it, that's.
well, John Deere's small, yeah.
Which we're getting a lot of compliments on the new Kubotas. So do you want me to have Rachel get updated quotes,
yeah.
just to kind of keep the ball rolling?
Right, no part of it, people pull it out, pull it back out. So.
Yeah, with it still, you know, it's on its wheels.
Right.
And it will drive onto a trailer. So that's a big issue. You're gonna have her move it back to the highway for right now, just so it's not in their way?
Yeah, if they consider it in their way, but
Okay.
she might tell them, she might, check for the price.
They hate for it to be in their shop.
Right, yeah, that's why I said, yeah, if they want it out there, I'd say take it.
Okay,
It would make a decision either way.
all right. Maybe, are you gonna be at the council meeting tonight? Would you mind bringing that up? Okay, I mean, we're not asking for a decision, but, these are kind of the numbers.
We should put that under other Michael Lane, but I'll definitely share Mike's story.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that it's almost half the price of a new one, it's kind of,
Yeah.
but maybe some that are concerned with it.
Right.
With the new warranty too, then, you know, with that warranty on the new tractor also.
All new tires, not, I don't know how old that is, but you know, using those on the road, right, at least those bar tires up.
I think that's all I've got.
Good. Did you guys see that email from Roberta about the asking for like a decision to? I guess she wants to get whatever hearings or something scheduled for BZA. I don't know how you guys feel about that, like her doing the work, I guess.
Well, this is my 2 cents on it. It seems like there's some disconnect between the BZA and the BZA attorney. And really, the BZA attorney should be helping guide with this situation.
Yeah, because I mean, that should, I mean, whatever legal advice for
Right.
hearings and.
You know, when it comes to these hearings and the different things that are going on, I hate for our BZA to be going a direction and it be outside of the legal parameters. So, especially if he's gonna have to defend them in court.
Right.
2 months from
Yeah.
now. So my thought would be, I would almost hate to move forward without the consulting with.
Yeah, that's, yeah, there needs to, I mean, that's what he would have done, right? I mean, those.
Right. So I think we need to get that
Mhm.
disconnect resolved.
Yeah.
So that way we can move forward and
Yeah.
make appropriate decisions.
Right. Yeah. That's what I think, so.
I would really hate to approve moving forward with hearings without the attorney giving his advice on it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
One thing I was gonna tell Dean. You was talking about the planning commission and permits and stuff. Mike's on that board. They are having a meeting Thursday, 6 o'clock.
I believe
Thursday
so,
night
yeah.
here. If you want, you're welcome to come. It's open too. Or after that, we might be able to have you a better answer, what, when we're going.
You say now, is the building commission got a different lawyer than the BZA?
Same one.
It's the same. I thought you guys split that, no?
We
used to
Yeah.
Justin.
Okay, so that's what got split.
Yeah.
Because I thought one of them was leaving. Did I hear that? Didn't want to do it or not?
There is a rumor out there about the new
Okay.
guy, yes.
But
All right,
But as of now, no, he's still the attorney.
right, okay.
And I'm not sure if you're aware, but we do have somebody helping now part-time in that office.
Yeah, and actually I
think I told you that.
Don, yeah, and we've already had one little issue, which great, they took care of it, so.
Right.
But yeah, I've got, you know, I need permit.
Right.
And I know, I'm surprised there isn't more contractors here, but evidently, you know, the rumor on the street is just, do whatever you want now. And that's not good.
Exactly.
No, I've probably had 50 phone calls last week from different contractors and different projects, and I think Gene's been in contact with, to my knowledge, virtually all of them.
Right, yeah. But how do I move forward with a new house?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How do I move forward with a new home for a permit?
Well, I tell you, we can go up there after this meeting. I know that they're working on getting the permit process moving.
Right.
Right now, well, as of last week, now they might be making progress on the permits. But right now, Gene is helping out any way he can so that we're not slowing you folks.
Yeah, we don't want to be doing that.
That's right, and this is coming up, I'm just looking forward and I'm looking at, you know, you haven't got enough board members to run all this stuff. So yeah, I'm just curious how quick this is gonna move on.
Yeah, no, we're starting to get some traction. As of about midweek last week, we're starting to get some traction going in a positive direction. You know, it kind of all came abrupt as to the situation we were in.
Yeah, now I hear you said there's, you know, for the lawyer or whatnot, is there some kind of a lawsuit going on with the planning commission? Did anybody do anything wrong in there?
Not to my knowledge. That might be more to come to the plan commission to discuss.
Okay. Because it seems to me like there's one board member on this thing that's caused all this problem.
I can't comment to that.
And I have a hard time seeing you picking up new people, having a hard time to get somebody to go on these boards if you're gonna have the same problem.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Like I said, we're getting some
Do
traction.
you guys have the authority to get rid of a board member?
On certain board members, if we appoint them.
All right. Good.
Well, like Mike said, the main thing, and if you ever have an issue with the board, attending the board meeting and asking for that, that's the way to go.
Yeah,
I know.
the problem is they've been getting canceled. It's hard to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, to my knowledge, the only one that was canceled was last week, and we had one of the gentlemen had something come up urgently, and that's when we moved it to this coming Thursday.
It's been, here you go again. I don't need them every time, but I had called up like 2 weeks ago, nobody answering the phone or whatever. Now it's nice, you do have, what's the gal in there now? Robbie. Robbie is answering the phone. You gotta give kudos to her. And she's, taking a lot of questions, I'm sure, so. But yeah, I mean, as long as you got a contact, that's okay, so.
Right.
But yeah, definitely, I'll be at the meeting to find out what you guys are moving forward.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't need the permits now, but I am gonna need them.
Sure.
Right.
But like I said, we're getting some traction. We're going in that direction.
All right,
Nobody could have planned for 3 members to leave all within 2 weeks.
yeah,
We are gaining some traction, and I think we're moving in a positive direction.
right. Okay. No,
And if there's something that's holding you up, you can contact one of us.
yeah, no,
or-
it's been great.
Yeah.
Don helped me all the time. That's
Right.
all I needed, so.
And I think even one day last week, Gene told me he did 15 or 17 inspections.
Probably.
Yeah, just to get caught up in the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks. So yeah, I know he's trying to
Yeah,
get
that's
help.
fine. The problem is Don knows I needed a permit for release from RMC, so can't get a permit, it's kind of backwards. So,
Understood.
but yeah, as long as he's doing all my prior permits, yeah, he can take care of them, that's great, so.
Sure.
But like I said, now I need to move forward, and I've got, homeowners that are wanting to know, and I'm afraid to say, oh yeah, I can do it, when I've got bank loans and everything else from them, which take a year, I gotta be ready to go, so.
Understood.
Okay, all right, and you said the meeting's gonna be Thursday?
Thursday at 6, I believe.
Yep.
And I believe it's on the website.
Yeah.
It's calendar.
Michaeline, is there any way we can get that on the county calendar?
I thought that, I sent it to him when Roberta asked me, so I don't know why it's not on
We'll
there.
check, yeah, make sure.
Get meeting on calendar.
Yeah, cause all I assume was this meeting is on there now.
Well, there should be a council meeting tonight.
It should show up on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Council, that's, PC just says June 2nd.
Okay.
Does anyone else have anything for us?
I just had a question, when you mentioned that with tax or whatever, how is that different than the county income tax that we currently pay?
Which county income tax, the one that you're paying for the jail?
It's
It's a special tax, basically similar to what we have in place. for The jail ends, but
But
it's,
it's not like state taxes, there's a certain amount of income tax. that goes
yeah,
into
there'll be another tax listed on your,
different
yeah,
category.
yes. I got something if nobody else has.
Yeah, Dave, go ahead.
So I just wanted to bring something up. It's a really sore and touchy subject, but we really need to bring this up. This month, or the opportunity is gone. It's gonna float away. So at the last council meeting, I'm sorry, I don't know if all 3 of you were here or if you came in or whatever else. But I brought up, and I had sent an email too about this, just for all the FOIA people, if they want to be able to see this, if it's available. And I just want to make everybody aware, especially my own constituents. Because, I got elected and, said I would represent people, and this is about solar. So we have this project that is an approved project and it's moving forward. And there was some delay because somebody on the planning commission said that taking soil borings constituted construction. I sent you proof from the government agencies that does not constitute. It's putting pilings in the ground or starting to build the structure, essentially foundations, things like that. So at one point we thought we were already couldn't do anything, so I got kind of quiet. But they are going to start construction in July of those projects over there. That comprises about $1 million a year additional in economic development dollars if we decide to do an EDA. There's some confusion on the council, and actually several of them have said, well, I want to talk to the commissioners too, or hear what the commissioners have to say. I'm not trying to bias you anyway. I just want to make sure that you have all the information we need. But going back to taxes and our tax levy, we have a frozen tax levy. Okay, so real property. So let's start with real property, because real property is how it's calculated for the tax levy itself. And those numbers are matriculated and then divided by, the net assessed value. So, the land itself had already been by statute from the state, had gone from like $1,100 an acre in assessment to 13,000 an acre. So there is a benefit to, the other landowners by that raising, because when you're dividing by the net assessed value, obviously that makes an impact. Well, I don't know why, because we've had two studies that were done. One of them was done by Purdue, not by, people keep saying it's done by the solar companies. It's accessible. I can send the link again. I've sent the link many times. Purdue did a study. And then the council paid for a study. Now I'm just gonna let you know, if you didn't hear the minutes, there was somebody that said a couple of times in our meetings and blamed me for it. I actually didn't approve it. Somebody else did on my board, but I was part of it and I knew that we were doing it. We discussed it. We hired a qualified firm to do this. There have been some accusations that maybe they were not, in some way, that they were, not prudent in their work. I think that's a very serious accusation to make about a firm that does that for many, many different entities all the time. But they came back and they said, it makes more sense for you to do the tax abatement and the EDA on the front end than it does to let it play out and try to lower property taxes. I will say again, we have a frozen levy. When I first started on the council years ago, I looked into thawing a levy. It's difficult and it's not guaranteed and it would be a big process, but it would still weigh in with people thinking that we're raising taxes. So if we do the tax abatement, so now let's talk about the reason why I'm bringing this up. There's the personal property. The value of the batteries and the panels is enormous. But as with any business, when you have the equipment, it depreciates over time. So the other kicker to the whole thing is if we do a tax abatement and an EDA, we're capitalizing that on the front end where it's got the highest amount of value. Whereas if we play it out, it will depreciate. And I will ask if anything I'm saying is inaccurate, please Justin chime in. The way our budget is going, the way the state is just changing things. And I will say, because some people have said, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't remember exactly who it was, but I have heard people say that the state hasn't ever weighed in on that. And if you haven't talked to our local state reps, please do, because they will tell you the state created this just for counties that are poor like ours. So we had a way to bring extra revenue in. So even they're going like, this is, they can't figure it out. They look at it and they go, I don't understand why there's so much opposition. Opposition to solar is one thing. Opposition to economic development is two different baskets, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to bring that up, that, maybe the council will reach out to you or the councilman, and obviously you're stuck with me, Mike. I'm sorry. But, like I said, I want my own constituents to know that I support this. And if we don't act quickly, it's just the chance is gonna be gone and we'll just have to let the dice roll out. But I do, and there's a couple of you on my own board say that I'm trying to sow, fire and brimstone, but it's true. Like they will admit that the state is cutting us and setting it up for us to have to look for revenue from other sources. It's frustrating because truthfully, those that are brought up, they're trying to force us to use lids, but they're trying to take the bottom line, but if we could fund some things, it would be nice to have that. I mean, think about that, when we're looking at, like, let's just make it easy, a $10 million budget, $1 million is 10% of our budget. Like, it's not like it's just like a little scratch in the pan.
And that's 1 million for how many years, Dave?
Yeah, so that'll
We
be,
won't get.
yeah, so we're talking about, if it survives the 30-year window, you're talking about something that's been coming in for a long time. So I don't disagree. On the front end, there's a lot of value there. Like in the beginning side of it, it might benefit slightly, but it doesn't benefit us. That money is gonna go to the state and the state's gonna allocate those dollars. Why would the state have them? Especially because there is a lot of rumor, and this is just rumor and conjecture. But that sooner or later, the state's gonna take over solar anyways, and the counties won't have the decisions. So that could be scary too, So I'm just throwing that out there that, people are on the boards who are saying that they would like your input. I think we need to join together on this one and really think about it. If we want to let it go, so be it. I'm one of 10 that we had the two boards, but I just want everybody to know I'm for it.
Well, I'm 100% for it with you, David. I mean, it's crazy to, why give the money to somebody else? You know, I mean, why not, why would this county not benefit from it? That's crazy. That's my opinion.
I wish there was some other way, like,
Right,
you
and
know,
there's been no council reach out to me about it, other than me and you talked. None other than, well,
It's like,
I thought they was coming to the meeting tonight, but I don't see it on the agenda. Hey, you asked me, I thought somebody was supposed to call
I thought so.
them and ask them to be here, but I don't see it on your agenda.
yeah, unfortunately, I'm.
Right, I'm just saying, yeah.
But I will say that, there was an agreement that we were gonna have Justin reach out to their attorney and see what, you know,
Okay.
what their offer would be, basically.
I did. Yeah, I reached out to their attorney. He said, basically, we're not gonna bid against ourselves. You have a copy of the economic development agreement. If you want changes, you're gonna have to originate those changes and send them to us.
I'm waiting for that.
And that's all the further I went into it, 'cause that's all the further just
Right.
that I would go, so. I was gonna tell the council that tonight if they asked that. Again, we're not bidding against ourselves. You have a copy of the EDAs. If you want to propose changes, we're open to hearing those changes, so.
And I can't predict what's gonna be discussed tonight, but maybe there's an opportunity for us to meet together still within that window. I don't know how to predict the window. But I know that if we don't make a decision in June, there's just no time, you know, there's not enough time to execute an economic development agreement if we don't act within the next month. Few days, I mean, it's.
I hope that after tonight, we can maybe even call a special meeting, so, you know, to get everybody,
I would,
if that's what they want.
I'll defer to commissioner leadership, to council leadership, because I'm not part of the leadership, so,
Right.
you know, but I think that's a good idea.
I just asked her, is there a way that you can make this most like the latest version of the EDA available to make sure that each of the council people have a copy of that before the next meeting?
Yeah.
Have it. Because that way, because that's what's gonna come up. They're gonna say, we don't have it in front of us, we're not gonna, I've been at those
You
meetings.
raise an
before,
excellent
that's what
point. Like I said, I don't know if I have authority.
Council's had it since September.
Yes, it's the same one we got in September.
Because it had the SB1 form attached, and at that time, that's when everybody was angry because there was battery storage included, so.
Yeah.
It's disingenuous to say we didn't get a copy of this, when the only way they would have gotten a copy was with that SB1 form,
So
so.
to your point, I don't know, I don't know if that's something that the commissioners can request, Michael, or just that, because maybe the commissioners want a copy of it too, just to review it if you haven't had it at your fingertips.
I'm sorry,
That's
Tom,
what
I
I think.
didn't,
It's been a while since it's been
Yeah.
out there.
I'm sorry, Tom, I didn't mean you were being disingenuous, I meant anybody that makes the comment, they don't have it.
Maybe Michael can recirculate it to all 10.
Mm.
If
Yeah,
you guys think
that'd
that's
be
better.
best. Yeah.
Before tonight.
No. Go ahead.
What did you say? I appreciate you trying to move ahead with the planning commissions and join those spots because it's on the same topic. We're obviously interested in seeing that solar ordinance get resolved. And we have another project we'd like to bring forward to the county. If we bring in more anything, more property tax. And we want to do it in compliance with the ordinance. We're gonna have a public meeting, I think, in June, which is the planning commission. I think that's got delayed at some point, but. You know, we'd like to keep the ball rolling on that purpose. We can bring some, continue to bring benefit.
Charlie, there's one other thing, sorry, I was thinking maybe I would see you around the Mint Festival this weekend, but I had other things going on, and wasn't there as much as I usually, hoped. Just wanted to let you know, but, the board know also that I spoke with the, Railroad Township trustee, and it looks like, things are going forward with Firehouse.
Okay.
Everybody knows that, you're looking good. So,
Yeah, good. It's like, oh, it's back to talk.
That's the purchase agreement for Chicago Motors.
We can sign that.
Thanks, guys.
Go ahead and get.
Thanks, Dean. See
Check cut.
you, Dave.
They work with you even more on it?
No, he didn't. I gave you the best right from that.
Copy of the signed one, please.
No,
So
Yes, you will.
I'll get with Jack if he don't have a way up there, you still work with him.
yeah, oh, yeah. I can go tomorrow, there's nothing on my schedule for tomorrow, or I can go Wednesday morning and come back and go to the meeting in Coops Lake.
Yeah, that's when,
Yeah.
okay,
We got a motion to adjourn.
so move.
Well, hey, right.
What happened in this meeting, Charlie? What happened in this meeting? The only three things on the agenda.
I know, I kept looking at the time, I said, "What are you doing?" Usually the longer agenda, it's.
I don't know. It all, this big over the every.